This is Jarrod Horak. Welcome to my latest Road to the 2023 Kentucky Oaks video. And in this video, I'm going to do analysis of the Grade 3 Honeybee at Oaklawn Park for Saturday, February 25th. You can find all of my Oaks and Derby points race videos on my YouTube channel. And then another video I did this week, not part of that series, the Grade 1 Saudi Cup $20 million race. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. This is my second video, and then I'm going to do the Rebel Stakes next for my third video this week. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. And if you want bonus free selections, head on over to horseracingnation.com. On the front page in the handicapping section, you'll find my daily best bets blog. I've been doing that blog many years and giving out a lot of winners over the years. And I've been on a bit of a roll recently. So head on over to horseracingnation.com on the front page in the handicapping section if you're interested in my daily best bets blog. And if you're interested in full card analysis at Santa Anita Park, you can find those full cards at theRunawayHorse.com on my sales page. Santa Anita had bad weather this week. They canceled all 3 races, all 3 days they were supposed to race. And I'm going to be doing this week for Saturday, February 25th, I'm going to be doing a full card from Rebel Stakes Day at Oaklawn Park, 12 race full card wagering strategies for each race, including pick 4 and pick 5 tickets. So if you're interested in that, theRunawayHorse.com on my sales page. Otherwise, full cards from Santa Anita each week. And now we'll get into the analysis of this video. 10th race at Oaklawn Park, Grade 3, $300,000 Honeybee Stakes. 3-year-old fillies, 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Scheduled post time, 5:43 p.m. Eastern Time. Number 1, Effortlessly Elegant. This one is 20-1 morning line. And she had a lot of trouble on her debut. It looked like they wanted to get her forward, but she couldn't get forward. She had early trouble. She broke 10th in a 12-horse field. Then she rallied to finish 4th, beaten a length and a half. The runner-up was a next out winner, and this filly was a next out winner when she caught the mud in a local race on January 29th at 6 furlongs. But she scooted right to the front this time, and she was able to dominate and win by almost 5 lengths. Good effort. She was the favorite in both races. She did add Lasix last time, and she does lose it in this spot. They paid $475,000 for this daughter of Liam's Map, and she's one that should impact the pace. Good jockey trainer team here. Norm Cassie, Ricardo Santana Jr., 6 for 8 together recently, and Santana was aboard for both of her races. So 2 sprints, 2 a route. She should impact the pace. Towhead is number 2, and she's 9-2 in here, and she's run 9 times, and she has 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. She's 1 for 1 at Oaklawn Park. She's run 3 times at this distance with 2 wins and a second. She started her career in dirt sprints, and she hit the board in both of those races, and then moved her over to the turf. She crossed the line first, wiring the field in a 9-horse field that day, but that race had a gate malfunction. It was declared a no contest, and that win didn't count. Then she finished 3rd in her next maiden special weight turf route. She was 2nd by a nose in the Juvenile Fillies Stakes at Kentucky Downs at 1 mile on yielding turf, and then she was up the track in the Grade 2 Jessamine, back in the maiden ranks in her last 3 starts and moving back to the main track. Mile and a 16th in the slop at Churchill last fall. She finished 2nd after setting the pace. She wired the field November 26th on fast track at Churchill. And then last time, optional claiming race, Oaklawn Park. She stalked from the inside post and she won easily. So she's one that has that good early pressing versatility and an inner post. And I can see her working out a good trip in here. Grand Love could be the one to catch. She's 3-1 morning line for trainer Steve Asmussen. This is a daughter of Gun Runner, and she's quick early. She got the lead in all 3 starts, but she was only able to hold on in her debut. In that debut from post 1, she broke on top, 6.5 furlongs at Saratoga last summer, and she dominated by a bit less than 5 lengths. The runner-up was a next out winner. Grand Love came back in the Grade 3 Pocahontas at 1 mile and a 16th at Churchill Downs, and she set the pace, but she couldn't last. She was the favorite, and she was beaten in third by more than 5 lengths. And then the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies was her last start at Keeneland in November. She was 21-1. Again, she set the pace in there, and she weakened to finish 6th, beaten 8 lengths. She broke on top in all of her races, and I would not be surprised if she broke on top in here. She has 2 bullet workouts at Fair Rounds for this race. She's a pace factor, but I don't know that I trust her around 2 turns. But she is lightly raced, and she probably still has some upside. Gambling Girl number 4 is next for trainer Todd Pletcher. She's run 2 times, 2 wins, a second, and 2/3. This is a New York bred daughter of Dialed In, and in her 5 furlong debut against New York bred company, she was 4th, beaten 6 lengths, and then she was 3rd, beaten almost 7 lengths in her second start. And then she stretched out from 5 to 6 to 7 furlongs in her third start, and she dominated that race at Saratoga against New York breds, winning by 10 after stalking the pace. She won the Joseph Gimma Stakes in her next start at 7 furlongs. The Maid of the Mist, she was fourth, beaten 15 lengths, but she had a bad start and she raced wide that day. And then in her last two starts, they were stakes races, Kentucky Oaks points races, and they were wet tracks both times. In the slop at Aqueduct on December 3rd, the Grade 2 Demoiselle Stakes, her stablemate Julia Shining rallied to win that one, and Gambling Girl rallied to finish third. It wasn't a bad effort there. And then the Busanda Stakes last time out, Occult for trainer Chad Brown dominated that one, and Gambling Girl was clearly second best, rallying from off the pace. Should get some pace help. Irad Ortiz Jr. jumps back aboard, and she's one that can probably finish somewhere in the top 3. Condensation is next for trainer Chris Hartman. This is a daughter of Frosted, and she's run 6 times with 4 wins and a second place finish. She won her first 3 starts at 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, then a claiming 50,000, and she was claimed by Chris Hartman there, and then she ended up finishing first again in a starter allowance race, and then she was in a stakes race at Fairgrounds and she finished second, and then she was 5th against Optional Claiming Company, and then they finally stretched her out last time after sprinting in her first 5 starts, and then she caught the mud, and then she wired the field last time out. Don't know if she can wire the field in here because there are other horses probably quicker than her, but she does have some good speed, and she should be forwardly placed. Take Charge Brianna for trainer D. Wayne Lucas, a daughter of Curlin. She's a long shot in here at 20-1 morning line, and she's had 8 starts with 1 win and 2/3. She broke her maiden at 7 furlongs at Saratoga last summer, rallying from 10 lanes back, but then they stretched her out in the Grade 1 Alcibiades. She was 10th, beaten 20. They turned her back in the Myrtlewood Stakes. She was 4th, beaten 8 lengths, rallying from 16 lengths back. The Goldenrod Stakes, she pulled up, she vanned off there, but then she came back in the Year's End Stakes at Oaklawn Park at 1 mile, and she was 3rd, beaten 6 lengths. And then the Martha Washington on a wet track last time, she was 4th, beaten 6 lengths. So she just hasn't been able to step up her game going around 2 turns. Maybe she's best as a late running sprinter. Number 7, Wet Paint. This one for trainer Brad Cox. A Godolphin owns this one. This is a daughter of Blame. Street Cry is the dam sire. Started her career in a turf route, 10th, beaten 7 lengths in a 12-horse field. She caught the slop second time out in Indiana, and she rallied from off the pace, going last to first to win going away by more than 2 lengths. On an all-weather track in her next start, she showed much better tactical speed, but the pace wasn't super quick, and she ended up stalking, taking the lead, and then finishing a clear second, 12 lengths clear of the show finisher. And then last time on that wet track in the Martha Washington, she went last to first, finished fuller run, just like she did in her maiden win. So if she can catch another wet track and a decent pace, could see her doing well again. But she does have a lot of ability. She earned strong late pace ratings in her last start. Flavian Pratt got to know her last time. He's doing good work with trainer Brad Cox, and look for her in the late going. Number 8, Defining Purpose, was the beaten favorite as my top choice in the Martha Washington. Didn't think they would bet her down that heavy, but they did. She was even money, and she pressed from second. She led in the stretch, couldn't hold it. She was 3rd, beaten a bit less than 3 lengths. She was clear of the rest. Wet Paint won that one. Texs was second. They're both back here. Defining Purpose could go better in here. She really dominated the Year's End Stakes at Oaklawn at 1 mile on December 31st, stalking the pace and winning nicely by almost 5 lengths. Look at her overall form. She was 5th in her debut, and then she romped to break her maiden. Then she was 5th in the Goldenrod, and then she romped in the Year's End, and then she was an okay 3rd last time. So if that every other win pattern continues, maybe she'll win this one. We'll have to see how that plays out, and I would like to see her stalk the pace. If she runs the same kind of race she did in the Year's End, she's a bit interesting in here. Boss Lady Bailey is next for trainer John Ortiz. This is a daughter of Connect, and she's run 5 times with a win and a second. Her only start at Oaklawn Park, last time out, Optional Claiming Company. Towhead beat her. She was second. Just did get second by a nose that day. Adding Lasix, she does lose Lasix here. She was 9th, beaten 20 lengths in the slop in her start prior to that. She was in the Alcibiades and the Pocahontas. She was 4th in the Pocahontas and 7th, beaten 11 lengths in the Alcibiades. She's got to prove she can handle the stakes company. Do you want to dance is the next one for trainer Dallas Stewart, and she's 20-1 morning line, and she's 3 for 4 lifetime. romped in her first 3 starts. This is an Oklahoma bred, and she beat State Bred Company in her debut by 8 lengths. She beat them again second time out by 7 lengths. She stretched out and won a State Bred Stakes race in her third start by 3 lengths. So 2 State Bred Stakes wins, and she went from 5 furlongs to 6 furlongs to a mile. And then the Trapeze Stakes last time out, she was 2-1. She stuck the pace, came up empty, 8th, beaten 17 lengths. Hasn't run since then. Probably stalk wide. Olivia Twist, she won that Trapeze Stakes, and she won her first 2 starts as well at Remington Park, wiring the field in her debut at 5 furlongs and then stretching out and winning by 15 lengths, and then allowance race second time out. She was 2-1 in the Martha Washington Stakes. She took Lasix off that day. The wet track, she set the pace. She was 5th, beaten 11 lengths. She's going to impact the pace in here. Maybe she prefers fast ground. Maybe she prefers lesser company. Not an easy post either. Texs rounds out the field, and she's 15-1 morning line. Rafael Bejarano will get aboard this filly, and he's having a good meet at Oaklawn Park. And she's won that in her 3rd career start in a maiden claiming 50,000. She broke her maiden. Randy Morse claimed her that day and put her in the year's end stakes. She battled on the pace. She was 4th, beaten 8 lengths. The wet, fast Martha Washington last time, much better effort. She stuck the pace, and she was able to finish 3/4 of a length in front of Defining Purpose for that runner-up spot, but she was no match for Wet Paint. I don't know what kind of trip she's going to end up working out. It's probably going to be a wide stalking trip from post 12 in here, and the pace should be lively. So there's different ways you can go in this race. Certainly some closers could do well, like Wet Paint. Maybe, like I said, Steve Asmussen's filly's going to try to wire the field, Grand Love, but I could see at least 3 or 4 other fillies that like to be up there as well, and I don't really trust her around 2 turns. I'm going to give Defining Purpose another shot. I picked her last time. I know that her best race was with Lasix in that year's end stakes that day. She dominated that one, but the style is more than anything else. I want to see her run that kind of race. And David Cabrera, who rode her to that nice stalk and pounce victory in the year's end, also rode her in the Martha Washington when she ended up pressing the pace and doing all the pace dirty work and then taking the lead and not being able to hold on. And then that every other win pattern too. So there's some things to like about this filly if she can sit a stalking trip while out in the clear. My second choice will be Wet Paint in here. My third choice, Towhead, and then Gambling Girl for trainer Todd Pletcher rounds out my top 4. And I'm going to make a win wager on number 8 in here. I'm going to play an exacta 8 with the 2-7. I'm going to come back and play an exacta 2-7 with the 8. And then a trifecta, the 2-7-8 and the 2-7-8 in first and second. And then I'm going to key the 4 Gambling Girl in third. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content. I'm going to be back with the Rebel Stakes this week, so stay tuned for that video, that Kentucky Derby points race. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.